Hello, I thought I'd do a quick video that takes you through what exactly is happening in my brain and in my ears as the producers are talking to me during that winners interview that I did on stage at the FNCS Media One Summit in Dusseldorf. By the way, if you sent me a comment about this or just about my work in general at that event, thank you so much. It really, really means a lot to me. And I often suffer with imposter syndrome. So to have people reach out and say that they enjoyed my work really, really means the world. And my work is the sum of a lot of people. It's not just me on my own. It's the producers, it's the other broadcast talent. We all help each other, but they especially helped me, especially this weekend where I'd had no sleep for a long time and I was very tired. So let's bring up the interview. So during the last zone, I basically was on my knees by the side of the stage because I was trying to work out if they were going to do it or not. I would have loved it if Peter and Boyo won as well. But because Vico and Mali haven't won before and because we've been watching them for so many years, it was very emotional. And just knowing Vico like we do in production, we just knew how much it meant to him, and you can literally see it. I had to hug my floor manager, Kevin, by the side of the stage because I was stood there going, oh my gosh, I'm going to cry, I'm going to cry. Now, I'm very conscious of that moment that I do not want to be in the camera shot. No one wants to be in that camera shot. We don't want to ruin it. So I'm kind of stood down on the lowest level of the stage, waiting for the go-ahead from my producer to actually go up there and get into the shot. So I'm quite happy there that I haven't ruined the shot by suddenly just stood there waiting. And no one really would have minded or like noticed, I don't think. But for me, that's really important. Like, I'm hosting the stage, but I'm not stealing the moment. That's really, really key. She says, making a whole video about what I did in this moment. But it is genuine in case it's of interest to anyone. So here I go. I go on and I go straight to Vico because he's in the moment and I want to capture it.
And to do it with a crowd that loves you.
And
I mean, what can I say, right? I promised my mom I was going to win this year.
You know, when you go on to do these interviews, the first thing you're trying to do is like get someone's reaction. And with Vico, we know what it means to him. We can literally see it. So I just wanted to add / remind him of an extra element, which is like everyone loves him. It's as simple as that. The crowd is there. They've been chanting his name. He might not be able to hear them chanting his name because he's got his in-ears in and his headphones on. So he's not always like conscious of that. But the audience is cheering for him. And I wanted him to think about that.
And I mean, and she's watching you right.
I also know Vico's mum. I've known Vico's mum as long as I've known Vico, which is over 3 years now. I think the Go Vico Go chant actually came from when we were filling at Red Bull Contested in 2023 because the new season of Fortnite had come out. This was like chapter 4, season 3. It was called Wild. And the tournament was the day after, so there were a few technical delays, should we say. So I met Vico's mum and was interviewing her, and we did this little chant, which was like, go, Vico, go, which he then put into his player name in the next season. So it's become a little thing. And I heard the crowd chanting it. The main thing I want to talk about here is that I have my arm around Vico, and I don't do this that often. I do put a hand on players sometimes when I'm at LAN just to kind of slightly bring them in, and I have conversations with players before I work with them, at particular Fortnite events, where they're going to be on stage with me. If I'm going to interview them, it's going to be really echoey. They're going to struggle to hear. So I actually say, I will probably get quite close to you. I may even physically touch you to bring you in closer. If you want to do the same, you are welcome. So I have this conversation with them where I brief them on what it's like and just try and set those expectations and manage them a bit, because I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable when I'm interviewing them. So like comfort is key and preparation is key, and just that relationship building. I once I'm working with a player when they're new to an esport, if I'm new to an esport, when you are doing interviews, you have to think about what we call the long game. So I am judging my relationship with the player in some ways at all times that I'm working with them. Like, can I take the mick out of them? Is it okay to put my arm around them like I am with Vico here? You know, when should I actually hold back a bit? When should I keep things kind of a little bit less jokey? You know, I'm always thinking about how to put people at ease and make sure that they don't dislike the experience, because if they don't, then that might put them off interviews, not only with me, but with other people too. And we need to get to know these players, and interviews is the best way to do that.
I'm gonna say it in German. Mama, ich hab's geschafft. Ich bin der beste Spieler der Welt. She's been.
There was an esports host called Red Eye. Some of you will know him. Some of you might not. He hates when your microphone is not in the hand that's next to the player, but my hand is there again because I'm bringing Vico in. That's why the microphone's in my right hand, but it's also because when I go to Malibuca, I then don't have to swap hands, which would look a bit clunky.
Your side. For so many years, we've watched you grow from a teenager into a champion, and Malibuca last.
So, teenager into a champion. I'm just kind of assessing things, and then I'm going to go over to this is where I can then set up my chat to Malibuca. And I don't want to go into granular gameplay detail, anything really to do with the games, because this is an emotional moment, and they're going to talk about those kind of situations when they head to the desk for an immediate interview after the one that I'm doing with them on this stage. So I don't need to tap into what happened in the games here. And the other thing with these two is their games were so consistent. If this was a winner's interview with Peterbot and Poyo, then I probably would talk about the clutches that Poyo had, because they were such high points during the event. And I think the storyline with Peterbot and Poyo would be their return to 2024 form. The fact that, like, obviously, I mean, Peterbot, huge damage dealer, but the reason they would have won is because the second half, Poyo got them into position to do that. And I probably would have spoken about their coach as well, because the first 4 games were terrible for them. The second 4 games were not. And it would have been a different situation. I probably wouldn't have been as emotional as this one. So I would have been kind of working out, you know, I would have brought a little bit more of a gameplay element into it. But again, those kinds of things are going to get covered on the desk. So I go over to Malibuca. Now, Malibuca is obviously not visibly kind of emotional as Vico is in my eyes. I haven't seen that he's kind of wiping his eyes behind me, so I haven't gauged quite yet, because I've been so focused on getting Vico to talk to the camera and you know, and kind of processing those emotions that I haven't quite focused on Malibuca yet. But now I do.
Year 8th at Globals, it wasn't enough for you, was it?
Bit of a leading question here. I think that's okay during a winner's interview, because what we're really trying to get is their immediate reactions.
Yeah, well, I didn't stop at this. I got Vico as my teammate, and we just did everything.
And he's mentioned his teammate here, and Vico and Mali, I honestly, when they got together, I didn't think that it was going to work. I thought their personalities were too different, but now I think that's why they work. I think they bring out the best of each other by being opposites. Vico needs someone who is going to be, you know, kind of like direct and just like bring him into line and know when to let him loose. And Malibuca needs to know that, like, whatever he asks for can be done. And Vico is one of the most mechanically gifted players there is, and he's also experienced as well, so he knows he can do that, and they both lock in. But also, they're so funny together, man. Like I took the mick out of Vico during the rehearsal day, just sort of like a meme interview, just to kind of practice for rehearsal. And I kind of set up Malibuca, and Malibuca just absolutely destroyed. In banter wise, obviously. Not banter, not bullying. And Vico's reaction was so funny, and you can just see how they work. They have a real bond, and this is only going to strengthen it.
Have asked for a better teammate.
And the two of you, it's like you're opposites. Vico, you can see this man, he's so hyped all the time, even when you don't win. You, cool, calm and collected, but has this man changed you?
So I wanted to have something that kind of brings them together, you know?
He changed me a lot, because I really love to play with him. He just makes the game feel easier for me.
And seeing the two of you together, Vico.
Okay, so in this moment, I've been told to go back to Vico, by the way. I've just had a call in my ear from producer Mikkel, who said, go back to Vico with a question.
See that crowd. They want to work with you.
Now, I've realized that Anders, who's a fantastic Steadicam operator, is going to go around us to get another shot of the trophy. But I don't want Vico to answer my next question or next like kind of request into the camera if it means his back is to the audience. I think it's really important in this moment for him to be facing the audience, because they're the people he's ultimately talking to right now.
I want this man to see this crowd.
And because Anders is so good at his job, he instantly understands that I'm directing him. and he moves. Now, I don't know if he also got any instruction from the gallery here, who maybe Mikkel saw what I was trying to do and said to Anders to move. I think that Anders just knew and made the rotation.
And to give them a message, Vico, what would you like to say to them?
Danke für deinen Support, Düsseldorf. Ich hätte es niemals geschafft, dass ich das hier treffe! Let's go!
And I know Liebers means love.
Vico loves this crowd.
Hence me slightly translating. He loves this crowd. But anyone, you didn't need me to translate it. And it wasn't really a translation, was it? It was a summary. It was a vibe. And then I'm told to wrap up the interview by Mikkel.
And we love you guys, Vico and Malibuca. Please take your positions.
Now, you see, I literally go, take your positions. I try and I just do this with my arm and then I'm out of there like Ross Kemp in a comedy sketch.
Please, what?
I'm now directing this not to a camera because I know that I'm not meant to be in the shot at this point. But I can't quite dive down the stairs. Otherwise, my breath control is going to be completely off. And I'm scared that I'm going to forget the words that I need to say. So I do this to the audience. This is where I'm pointing to the audience. I'm like a little conductor.
Martin, your first ever FNCS.
And these guys, they're looking at me, I think, because they want to know when they're good to go. So they're listening to me. They're looking at me.
Major One Summit champions.
And look at that, actually, because they've seen me in rehearsal doing a version of this. So all the players were just there for setup when they saw me doing blocking. So positioning in rehearsal, using my mobile phone as my pretend microphone when I was blocking it with floor managers. So literally, Mali is looking for me and waiting for me to say champions. You can literally clock. He's seen this happen so many times before, also other players doing it as well. He's waiting for that moment. As soon as he sees champions, he knows I'm about to say their name. He's so clever, this one.
Vico Malibuca!
And there it goes. You know what I love about this, actually watching it back? I'm actually watching Malibuca more because I can see what it means. But can you also see there? Look at this shot of the stage, right? We have such a thin area to work with, so you can kind of see it being picked up there by the team. So it sounds really stupid, but that's actually another part of the winners interviews at FNCS that's technically challenging, which is literally not falling off the stage and making sure that your camera operator doesn't fall off the stage as well. So yeah, that is a little breakdown of what's happening there. And I hope that wasn't too boring. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you found this interesting, please leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel, let me know what you think. If you've got any favorite interviews of other people's in esports, could be one of mine. It doesn't have to be, honestly. And yeah, what you thought of the FNCS Major One Summit if you watched it. Thank you so much for watching.